Recording. Take command. When we're too less formality is needed.
I think let's finish this, at least phase one of this flake refactor.
Could you bump up your gain somewhat, please? What? Is it any different?
How's that? Should I go higher, or
Yes,
is that good enough?
higher. I mean, don't be careful about it. Just bump it all the way.
Okay. How's that?
Okay, that's very loud and it's a lot of noise, but that's my problem.
Now I can't
Okay.
even hear anything because of all the feedback, so I'm gonna have to
Yes,
disable listening to myself in QPW grow.
no, yeah, reduce it to some degree, please.
Okay. There's a label called base.
Okay.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, that's like I think
Okay.
0 decibel, 0 dB.
No,
That's
it's definitely not 0.
not 0.
On my rotation, I'll show you, and you can maybe explain it to me.
All right.
But sorry, I
We
can't.
are in the
I
same
can't listen to
place.
myself. So if it's bearable for you, I'm just gonna.
Oh no, that was a tip for you. I don't mind.
Yeah. Okay. Wow, that is so much better. I am gonna. If I want to listen to
Also,
myself,
the
I've got to do the filtering in user space.
list. Oh, because not it's because of yourself, because of the noise.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
But maybe there's a
Okay.
cute daemon that I can use that will make me feel like I'm in control of this.
That's I've known some to have went that rabbit hole and never
Never
to
came
be.
out. Man, I'm already in one deep rabbit hole. I should get out of this one first, at least.
Nick's Lake Show.
Sweet. So as usual, I have no idea where we left things. If you search for conflict markers, are there any left in the codebase?
Conflict markers. This?
I always do less than.
No, but do I need to escape that? No.
I don't know.
What is it even finding when I do this?
I think that's a word character boundary. So you probably don't want to escape, because that's probably like saying start a word.
Okay. No, none of this.
Great. So are we just like at the point where we need to look
How
at the
about
full
Nick
diff?
like check?
Yeah, go for it. And maybe while that's going, we can look at the full diff.
Here's the bit. Neatly replaced.
Goodbye,
Flake
utils.
parts.
Hello, parts.
That as well. Systems also added.
Yep.
Wait. Systems added is an in.
We already had systems as an input, though.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So it doesn't show up in the lock file, which makes sense. Oh, well, or it barely shows up in the lock file.
Shows as inputs to flake parts, does it?
I think those are our inputs
Flake.
right there, not inputs to flake
Ours.
parts.
So here's the metadata.
Which makes sense, because
Linux.
we had systems locked, but it wasn't an input before.
Yeah, flake parts only has Linux packages.
Yep. Makes sense.
System. Okay.
Yeah,
Full
that's a clean diff.
diff. Here's the flake next. Flake utils specs. Space with flake parts.
Looking
Seems
good.
right.
Agreed.
Systems. Uh-huh. Okay. The outputs. So that doesn't matter. That part doesn't matter.
Yeah.
This part doesn't matter much. The only thing it finds in common is this equal and this input.
Yeah. I mean, I'm anxious. I think it might not really be possible to create a clean diff here for like a
Well,
tool, but it's a
look
clean
at this.
conceptual diff.
Look at this.
Mm-hmm.
You see this? This was not inside the same thing, right?
Yep.
So what about, like, for example, the dev shells? We had something very similar to this, but now this is new. So where's the one that is removed? And this kept its place.
Mm-hmm.
And here is dev shell, so it's removed here and added here. So we just need to move dev shells up above the Nixo, whatever this is, per system Nixos tests.
You mean below?
Above, it is below. Wait, what? It's been removed. No, you're right. Below, yeah.
Okay, I follow.
Uh, dev shells in. This is
I think we want to move the whole module, right?
Of course. This. Wait, but then dev utils.
Yeah, so we can't win. Hey, this is like
Still.
the benefit of us having refactored things. There's some code locality here, but that means that
Well, dev utils, are they supposed to be only in the shell?
yeah,
Is it?
they're just for you and I to run when we're developing working on this
So
project.
I'm moving this after what? Oh, I think I broke it. How did I break it? Because it's only the. It's only this. This is the. What?
Yeah. But I mean, is this really going to achieve your goal, Shahar? Because like now the diff's going to show up with dev utils, right?
I didn't move anything yet, but I'm not sure. Where's dev shell? I already deleted it. Okay, sorry. This is dev shell.
Mm-hmm.
Is it? Like, why did it? Okay. And now I'm supposed to put it after here, right?
Well, I don't understand what the goal is. I feel like you're just
You
shifting.
minimize the div.
Yeah, but you're just going to move the problem around, right? Because
Maybe I didn't pay quite enough. Maybe you paid more attention.
okay.
So this now is considered new. As if it was moved from some. No, this is still not considered. Yeah, I don't know that we can do this.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically we had a sandwich, right? There were like two pieces of bread and some jam in the middle. We moved the jam out, but like now one of those slices of bread, even though they're still the same relative to each other, it's like one of them moved. Something moved, right? It's like we had a let at the top with the dev utils, and then we used them down here, and then there was something else in the middle. Now there's increased code locality. We've made things better, but it's just going to be a diff.
Mm-hmm.
So
Next,
okay. Record Bob T open Share screen. Oh, I can't. Someone else is sharing.
Huh.
Excuse me. Where'd it go? Had it. There we go. Good. Check out. Like parts. Oh,
Is this 1080 resolution?
it is not. Shall I change it?
Yes, please. I'd like to give the Riverside some feedback, saying I would want to adjust the layout a little bit so the videos are smaller.
Yeah, me too. All right. I'll start 7. There we go. So we're looking at a what diff with origin main or just the git diff like parts. Is that what you were doing?
Yeah, but I'm not sure the diff helps now.
Mm-hmm.
Not for this file.
Okay, great. So let's look at the next one.
And if it doesn't help for this file, we should probably break it up into multiple modules.
Yeah, I'd say let's do it. I I don't think we're going to be able to tell the story you wanted to tell, and if you're convinced, let's just go full bore. That's what I would say.
But I would like to make intermediate commits just to, in case we mess something up and we want to see
Yeah,
when last time it worked. Also, the progress of my flake
this
check
feels
that
like
it
a commit.
failed.
Aw. Uh, can you point me to the issue?
Just run it.
Well,
Run
it'll
it.
take a
So,
moment. Maybe we can start debugging while I. Oh,
well,
no, that
I
was
think
very
it fails
fast.
with, yeah.
Okay, sorry. API default package. Awesome.
What?
So we probably got a package
So there
called.
is not supposed to be such. Oh,
Oh, this is Nixos test. Sorry. Checks.
it's an import. Look at the bottom error.
Yeah.
Adders to URL params.
Oh, that's something we have.
Yes.
Okay, great. Modules Nixos API and modules Nixos fetcher. Adders to. Where is this? It's at the root. Okay. So there we go. Then do the same thing over in fetcher. And we probably can clean this up, but just to get things working. Wait, check.
Could you try switching to the other microphone?
Sure.
I hear that noise, whatever that is.
Bad. Recording streams, Chromium input. Or, well, let me do the default source. Maybe that'll work. Did that? Do I sound different now? Hello,
Different.
hello, hello.
Noise is louder.
Okay. I can change the gain. I can go back. What do you?
No, go back. You think it's the wind? Now I cannot hear you at all because of flake check.
Yeah. I think I'm back now. Uh,
Yes.
can you hear me again? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. Way to go. Next flight check.
Any chance you find yourself in a quieter environment? If it takes
Um,
time, a lot of time, maybe that could be next time.
give me a minute. I can stay here, but I can close some windows and I'll turn on a fan to compensate. Just a sec.
All right.
Hello. How's that?
Eh, It's exactly the same.
Okay. Well, uh, oh, wait. I see another window. When Rachel wakes up, I can head upstairs where we have a room that has better windows and insulation, but she's asleep right now. Okay, so I'm fairly confident that this is working. What would actually be kind of cool is if we could just verify that we don't have to actually do the builds or the checks, you know? We just want to confirm that next like check, sort of like a snapshot test, right? That it like produces the exact same derivations. Like we don't actually have to build those derivations. But I don't know if there's a clever way of doing that check.
There's probably it's gotta be a flag for an like check, something like no build,
Oh,
skip build.
You know what will output all the derivations?
Hmm.
Um, no, that's just the checks. My bad. Because we don't. I think next flake check isn't even quite what we want, right? Like next flake check, maybe it should, but it doesn't build like our dev shell. Really, what we want is we want to confirm that all the outputs of our flake are exactly the same, not
Most
just
of
the
them
checks.
happen to be in the checks.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, can you get this with like next REPL in some clever way? Like if I do next REPL dot outputs, that's not a thing.
No.
Checks.
Wait, that's not outputs is already in
I
your
mean,
when you do next REPL dot, the outputs are top level.
yeah. Well, this is not immediately visually obvious, but there's probably something here, like a minimal thing we could write or some existing tool. I just don't.
Doesn't but it doesn't have to be like practically sure. Okay, what you're saying is right, but could be more useful in other cases. But in this case, we do have nearly all what we care about in the checks, and the dev shell can be done explicitly. That's
Yeah,
what.
yeah. And so
So
what
if
I'm
next
what
flake check has a flag,
so that just verifies that it you can run the Nix code, but it doesn't.
there you go. Right?
Well, but that just like I mean, we could have deleted our
Wanted
entire
print.
right. I want to confirm that it's producing the same DRVs.
But won't that print
Let's see.
The DRV.
I think this might just print nothing and exit 0. Oh, I'm back to 100% CPU.
Maybe there's an additional flag, like output JSON or something.
No build.
Or how about
Oh,
next
Nick's
like
build.
show? Huh?
I know one way of doing it, but what were you gonna say? Next Flake show.
Next like show with output JSON.
Let's check. I know we can do this with Nick's build, but let's try your idea first.
If there's such a thing.
Yeah, there's the derivations, but not the like. This feels like some nice human readable version of it. Ooh, dash dash JSON. Okay. What do you have for us, buddy?
Wait, but isn't that enough? What do you? No, wait. What is that? How do you get that?
This right
What is
here.
that example above the example that is shown, the print, the output?
This is
How is that obtained?
show the outputs provided by the Flake patch elf Flake. So I think this is just
We don't get that. That's out of date.
no.
If
That
we do
looks like
next
what
like
we
show,
get
we
right
don't.
here. It's like the name concatenated with the version. This just has an interesting
Okay.
long version. Whereas for some of our stuff, we don't bother with a version, and with others, we have a simple version.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
But I think dash dash JSON. Let's see. Got IPI. Let's see. Checks. Yeah, this is saying the name and the type. So I don't think that has it. But I know we can do it with Nick's build. Like we do Nick's build dot hash checks dot x8664 Linux. And then it says it's a set. So I mean, I guess the unfortunate thing is we'd have to like do each check. But just to prove the point I'm trying to make, if I pick one specific check like Flippy, and if I do print, oh no, I don't want Nick's build. I want Nick's realize. Uh,
That's
so like going back to the REPL, maybe like if I do checks dot x8664 extract dot checks dot x8664 Linux dot Clippy. That's the derivation. So like if we like flattened this into a list of derivations, we could compare that output to what we get on main. And if it's the same, we know we haven't regressed. Does that make sense?
granted. Yeah. And just sure someone did this before, and we don't have to. I'm not saying it's much work. I mean, checks are already flat, and we're going to do one system anyway.
Yeah. So we would need to somehow like basically flatten out this attribute set here. Which do we
After
get that for free?
values,
Does that just do it for us there? I think this is what we want. Have you noticed this like sort of weird caching bug or cosmetic issue where the first time you evaluate something in the REPL in an adder set with some lazy things, the keys get mangled? I've been experiencing this, and I've been meaning to dig to see if there is a reported bug already. But this is it.
So
This is our snapshot, right?
yes, give us one for the shell as well, please.
Uh, dev shells.x8664 links. And then we get that same cosmetic bug again. But if I run it one more time, boom. And then what I can do, next REPL, GitHub, molybdenumsoftware, PR tracker, main. Actually, I can do. That's probably optional, right? Checks.x8664
Can't you do
links.
/main?
Oh. Let's try. Nix REPL./main. No, that's looking for a folder called main. Okay, boom. All right, and we've regressed. That's not the same. Let's check the checks. Clippy has changed. Filter options is the same. Formatting. This is in a different order. Is there not even a thing called formatting? Did we lose a check? Oh, we're not injecting. No, we are. We renamed it to tree foot. Okay, that's maybe an unintentional change, but that also changed. Yeah, all of these seem to have changed. Fetcher.
Maybe they all rely on the same source.
Ooh, this one did not change. Actually, see how that's exactly the same?
Maybe the source for that is filtered properly.
What is filter property?
The source for it is filtered properly.
Oh, I see. But because we restructured things, anything that just slurps in the whole source. Packages API. Okay, yeah, I like your theory. So like all the packages seem to be potentially the same. Fetcher is the same. Nixos modules manual has changed. That would make sense that we wouldn't have been as careful about filtering its inputs. And same with program docs. Okay.
Are the packages the same?
These two packages look the same to me. Let me highlight them. So as far as our users are concerned, the packages are the same.
It's a good start.
I agree.
And as for the rest of the things, we can just run the tests again.
Yeah. So Nick's Flake check did succeed for me.
Did you ever set a timer?
I didn't. Sorry. Get diff mob next. Or maybe I did, but I didn't hear it go off. Because it looks like I did have a rotation there. You're up. I gotta stop sharing, sorry.
Like, check. Assuming this passes, we'll give it a mob done and make it some
It did pass
work in
for
progress
me,
commit.
and I did just run it again, and it passed again. So I think we can start working on the mob done while you let that run.
Mob done. I also kind of want to see like the various outputs, like the documentation, Nix
Sure.
build, packages, 4 program docs. Could be doing the same thing twice here. And also the it says modules manual that built already. Oh, but it's I have one result. Firefox result index here. That looks like it.
Beautiful.
Okay. And this one, program docs, is that's a Rust thing. That's Rust doc. You know, I think something happened between with Crane, how Crane works,
Mm-hmm.
between the time that we kind of finished the first round of the project and now.
Okay.
Because you see what it says, fetching sin?
No, I don't see that. Oh, now I do.
Here.
Yep.
That is, oh, that is a crate. That's a Rust crate.
Okay.
If you remember, Crane it provided it helped us created for us 2 derivations for our code. One for dependencies, all the dependencies
Yeah.
together,
Mm-hmm.
and one for the, I don't know, like
The final
our actual
bundled, linked.
artifact.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. That was a huge quality of life
And this
improvement
is
when we set that up.
this is different.
Like, do you think it's doing a derivation for every dependency or something?
I think it might be doing that.
That would be cool. I don't know enough about Rust to know what that means. That makes a lot of sense in like a Python universe.
I think it's desirable. I think it's just a matter of whether, implementation has been satisfactory.
Like, I understand that, my understanding of Rust and Nix is probably both limited, but I could imagine building a separate derivation for the source of all of these dependencies. But can you actually do any pre-compilation in a useful way?
Cargo can.
Okay. So Cargo can like pre-massage each library in like an individual way. Because my
Yeah,
vague mental model
that's
was,
how Cargo cache works.
yeah, I guess I am aware that like there is the cargo cache. It grows to be many gigabytes when I'm working in a Rust project, and it allows for quick rebuilds. What I did not understand was if that cache could actually be decomposed. Like because when we're doing development like without Nix, you just end up with like, I guess I haven't poked at it, but it just, the cache directory felt like an opaque singular blob to me, and for Phoenix to do its thing, it would have to, split that cache up into n things. Does that make sense?
Uh, it was certainly opaque. Cargo did not does not, I think probably to this day does not expose any,
Like here's the structure of that directory or any promises
Yeah,
about
I'm just
anything.
guessing. It's terribly complex. Another reason it's complex is one reason it's complex is that there are a single crate has multiple variants
Yeah,
of
because
what
you
it
can
means to.
toggle the features.
Right, right.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can't even precompile it unless you're willing to precompile every variant. But maybe they do. Maybe I guess it's possible that Phoenix does something clever where like the n dependency derivations that it produces for us actually does feed in the the features. Like that seems possible to do. And then it could pre-build for just the features it knows we're eventually going to need. And then because of the magic of Nix, if you change the features, everything would still work because everything's input addressed.
I'm not sure what file to help. I mean, obviously that's not what we're looking for. Maybe it's like source. Oh, that makes more sense.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh no, that's the source. Huh. That's a kind of source navigator.
Okay.
Unit share doc, but I don't. Maybe it's this pair tracker API. It just doesn't have like an index. They link to each other. Okay, that
Yep.
looks good.
This looks familiar.
So the two documentations are built. Nix flake check succeeded,
Wonderful.
and that I mean the dev tools. I don't know about them. What do you think about them? I can't just mob Next at the moment. What do you suggest we do? Bring it back into a mob branch to further verify that everything seems to be working, or
I don't. Yeah. I feel there are only two apps plus cargo, and I mean you could do like a cargo build to confirm that that still works, I guess. Which might be a good way to test that we've got that GitHub environment variable set up correctly.
cargo what build?
Cargo build or something like that. Yeah.
Or cargo check?
Cargo check, sure.
All targets. I don't seem. Okay.
Because one interesting thing we do with the dev shell, besides providing two command line utilities, is we also set that environment variable so that our build.rs script can find the GitHub GraphQL schema.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like that worked because it built. And I know we wrote that build.rs to freak out if it couldn't find it. I mean, I feel pretty good. We could check that those two CLI commands exist. I can't remember what they're called, but if you do,
Sure.
yeah.
Nix. No, it's not. It's not Nix.
I think we provide them as
the
just
dev
like
shell.
binaries you can
Yes,
run.
the dev shell. Dev utils. Dev shells in packages. SQL dev utils. Name. You think so? Util hyphen They're here, and
Looks
this should
good.
work.
Sure.
Get me into an initialized database.
Love it.
Seems like I have a
Love it.
command and dev util skillx prepare. Do you remember what this does?
That compiles the. I mean, this is an awesome command if it works, because what it should do is it should look throughout the entire Rust code
It
and look
just says
for.
cargo run. That's literally what it does.
Mhm. But what this thing does under
Oh,
the hood
that's a
is it
program.
compiles.
SQLX prepare here.
Yeah. And this compiles all the or analyzes all the SQL queries we've written and like connects to a database with the migrations applied. And it's all very cool. And what I think is so particularly cool about it is the way we built it, where it isn't like you and I have to go carefully start up a database in another terminal and run all the migrations against that database and then run this command. We like built this cool database context utility, which I wish I had in every web project I've ever worked on, but I've never actually had before.
So there is,
And then did git
yes.
status produce a difference there?
No.
Nope. Wonderful. Okay. I feel very good about this.
Okay. So here's a commit, and it'll be squashed later, but for now it's like parts, work in progress. Push it.
Sorry, when you said
You
squashed,
can
how many commits are there on this branch?
one now.
Okay, great. So I'm gonna take over rotation and we'll write a commit message.
I just committed. I think this is a kind of a work in progress commit that we don't care about.
Oh, I see.
Eventually,
We'll
we don't
rename
want to
it,
keep this.
but let's
We'll
just
just
keep
went
going on the mob branch.
one. Right, but there is no mob branch now. Please share screen.
Great.
As soon as you do mob done, you remember
Yep.
no mob branch anymore. Now you need to switch back to the base branch and pull it. Oh, I wanted to share something with you that I think you're going to like.
What's up?
Search. Did you hear of a project called Git Trim?
Nope. Should I search for it?
It's in. Why don't you try it right now? Just run nix run in this repo. Nix packages git trim.
Something like that.
Git hyphen trim. Yes.
I can guess what this is from the name, and I'm gonna like it. Oh yeah, I need a tool like this in my life, man. All right, so this is gonna okay, somehow figure out what has been merged.
And give you a report before.
That's very cool. It's trying to ask me for input, but doesn't seem. My shell seems to be borked. Let me do a reset. Okay. Oh, and my shell's borked again.
Perhaps
Here.
Nix run doesn't support interactive.
That is not possibly true. Like Python, right? But here, let's try something. Next build dash dash no link dash dash print out paths. What do you got? Oh, get. Yeah, same thing. There's something about my shell or a bug in this program. Let me try and bash. That's usually a good test of stuff like that, right? Although my bash is going to be inside of a Zeesh, so maybe that's not a very interesting experiment. No, same thing. Is it possibly buggy? Does it work for you?
It works for me, and
Huh.
it's possibly buggy.
Well, I do really like the thought of a tool like this. Um, do you know what it like?
I'm sure you'll figure the bug out ne- next time we
Okay.
next by
All
the
right.
next session.
I will. I will. I'm putting this on my deep freeze list. So, good. But I
And
do
and
very
you.
much need a tool like this in my life. So,
Mm-hmm.
thank you for the heads up.
You're welcome.
Uh,
And you know what? It's written in Rust.
of course it is. That's a feature, right? Um, some people talk about it like it is. Uh, mob. I'm on a mob branch. Okay. What are we doing? Are we just doing the satisfying work of actually breaking this thing apart?
You got to a mob branch after pulling the base and doing mob start.
Yes, sir.
And yes, now we will like reorganize this freely.
Okay. So step one is
But yet
flake.mix.
without changing the without removing the call package pattern.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff we could do. Like we could get rid of the that flattened tree, but we're not going to do that here, right? That'll be a subsequent change.
How about we start with breaking apart all the ones that are inlined in flake.mix?
All right. So modules flake packages.next. That's good, right? Now we're going to create a new one for the. Do we really want this to be like? I kind of would argue that this one's special enough that we could put it here. I don't see the value of the indirection. Okay, great. Uh, this one I
It's taking one line anyway.
I would potentially argue that this could get floated up as well, but feel less strongly about that. Like we could do a modules flake, I don't know, common dot mix or something like that. Or maybe we can come up with a better name for it.
How about how about pulling this one out and then seeing what next? I mean, sorry, up,
Like this?
not out.
Done.
Yes.
Okay. This feels like a formatting. Or
Yeah.
again, if we're just counting lines of code, we could leave it here. It's just what's worthy of going
Well,
in the
there
top level
is,
flake.
look, there's a treefump.nix file. So I think that it should all live there.
Okay. So what I will do
In,
is move
in
treefump.nix into modules flakes. I agree with you. Uh, shall I leave it called treethumped like that?
no, formatting is.
Yeah. Maybe we'll replace it with something else someday. Formatting dot. Yep. Get add dot. Okay, and then I'm going to copy this to my clipboard. I'm going to go in here. Doesn't exist because it's called formatting.nix. And I'm going to, whoops, copy, paste, and then we're going to say let tree config equals, maybe we'll inline that in a moment, in, and then this will be a flake parts module like that. Boom. And this takes inputs and dot dot dot. Save. Okay. Unused because now this goes like this. Nix. Oops. I gotta save my flake.nix changes. Go. Next vote. Okay, I think that's still in business. I'll do a rotate.
That's good throughput.
Next. Throughput. The code. The
Impressive
coding rate or the
number of bricks laid.
Flake parts is pretty satisfying once you get a feel for it. Do you want to inline that config variable though?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Sweet. I'll stop sharing, and if you could share.
Oh, sorry. I work full time. Jitsi Meet.
Yeah.
Mobbing, so I don't need to do that.
Shahar, this mob tool that I'm gonna want to build someday, it's gonna have to integrate with whatever video conferencing software we use and focus the driver and everything.
Journey. Please control yourself.
Shahar, I can't control. No. So long as you and I are mobbing, which maybe we won't be doing this in 5 years. I don't. But it is going. These sorts of paper cuts are going to bother me. This is the kind of person I am.
Fine.
But I can also promise to only complain and to minimize the amount of complaining.
The thing is that you'd eventually get your way, because like, I'm not going to, argue much about what we are doing here. Crates is this going in here? It shouldn't be trying to format this, but I'm going to test whether this is existing problem in main. Main is out of date. So now I'm actually diverged, but that shouldn't change anything, should it? It doesn't seem like an existing problem in main.
Yeah. So I'm very familiar
but to
with.
make absolutely sure. Yeah, I remember last time you. But to make absolutely sure, I'm going to go to the, to the main that this is based on.
Okay.
Which is actually, I mean, my main was out of date, but I don't know how this main was not out of date. So it's only mine. So yeah, it's nothing to check.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what treefumpt is supposed to do is
So
if it
how does it change?
The default walk is auto. We're using treefumpt 2, right? If you do nixfumpt -- version, it's treefumpt 2 point something, right? Yeah. So
Are those files, did they even exist now? Crates, store.
it's a good question.
Crates, store. Crates, store. Yes, they do exist. How do we mess that up?
Oh, these are version controlled files. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Maybe they. Ready? Yeah.
Yeah, this is that thing that command produces, the prepare command, SQLX prepare.
So
okay. So it's not a git walk thing.
Well, it's gone now. It doesn't show it again.
Oh, do they
Explain
cache? I know this might be a bug in treefumpt because it's got that whole bolt DB cache. Can you delete the bolt DB cache and try running nixfumpt again? Tilde cache. I don't know. Maybe there's a command to get it to show you where it is. But yeah.
Nixfumpt help.
No cache.
Clear cache.
Yeah, try both of those.
Well, there's no cache. Oh boy.
There you go. So
Okay,
it's a tree funk
on
fix.
main, it'll be the same.
Yeah.
Uh-huh, existing issue. Okay.
So
So
we
these are
should maybe file that.
warnings.
Like, it's not very
Yeah,
useful to cache
hub
the
issue,
lack of a
create.
warning, you know?
Well, first for ourselves, right? Um, like you meant an issue upstream, right?
Yeah, I do. I mean, what
So
do we
first
want
for
to do about it?
ourselves, we want to have either ignore, right, or have basically you either ignore or have a formatter for everything. This is the warning says you have not considered this file.
Yeah. So what I would like to do is to get upstream to always emit the warnings. And then once upstream is always emitting the warnings, you and I are going to be bothered by the warnings, and we're going to want to make them go away.
Sure, but
So we
I can
could just
already
make the
file
warnings
that
go
issue
away.
here, right?
Yeah, I agree.
So have no uh, warnings from Nix and no cache.
Love it. And then I'll add a item to my backlog to see if this has already been reported. Tree funked caches. Warnings. Well, it doesn't really cache the warnings, does it? Cache.
I'm sure it's people aware of it, and it's only a matter of who's willing to, implement.
I don't know. I would not be surprised if Brian McGee was not aware of it. But maybe he is.
And here is a marker so that you could send him video
Where am I
as
looking?
well. I just marked the time.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Rotated.
Start 7. Okay. So formatting is done. XS Commons already Flake module, API, and fetcher. So the next one here is the checks. So shall I create one called checks?
The checks. A check should be what within the same module with what it checks.
Yeah. So ideally, this is where we could start decomposing and getting rid of flattened tree. Is if we change this to also add the checks for
Right.
the
But for now,
package.
we just split it up.
Okay. So
Out
we'll
of
do
here.
that later.
Yes.
Okay. That was the thing I was wondering about the scope of what we're trying to take on here. Okay, and then this goes into there. Okay. Nix Flake show. And I gotta save my changes to flake.nix. Nix Flake show. Doesn't like that. Flattened tree does not exist.
Intention
That
to
makes
add.
sense. // Sorry, what did you say?
I said intention to add. Intent
Oh.
to add.
I did do that.
Mhm.
But where's flattened tree? Is that the root? Okay, so we have to go .. Makes sense because we moved it 2 directories down. And then .. /.. There we go.
Is this platform good at preventing you from closing your browser tab before the upload is complete?
I've been so afraid to check. But I've been wanting to do that every day, Shar. As I like carefully wait to close the tab. And I assume they've registered that browser hook, but I don't want to
Yep.
find out, you know?
Don't check. I'll ask someone else who
Okay.
didn't think about it.
Um, okay. And then shall we add another flake for dev shell?
Yes.
Should we follow our dash naming convention or should we call it camel case to match that?
Dash or hyphen, as I like calling it.
Great. Works for me. W blah get add dash n dot and save. Next flake show. Save. Format. Wonderful. Oh, I love having auto format. All right. Should this just get moved up into checks? This filter options check? Or actually, we already have a, should this become a flake module?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean,
Move.
this and filter options itself, I suppose.
Flake. Whoops. Modules, flake. Go. Get add. Add.
No, but filter options is a floating thing. It's not explode. It's not exposed.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would.
Yeah.
No, yeah, no, never mind.
We're gonna turn this file into a flake part module. Is that okay?
Yes,
We might
and
get some
filter options
indentation.
itself will remain where it is,
Okay.
or at least it'll remain a file.
Yeah, we
Just a file.
so I'll say let filter options check equals in. I'm just gonna get this working and we can talk about how we want to structure this. Dot, dot, dot. We are now a module. Okay. Boom. And then I say assert filter options check. This takes lib as a parameter. Okay. We can definitely restructure this, but I'm just starting somewhere. Save. Nix flake show. So all I've done there is the boring moving code around, or at least that's what okay, I gotta fix a reference. Makes sense. Dot dot slash dot dot. Nix flake show. Okay, now we can talk about the code structure. How do you want to do this?
So everything. Wait. Sorry. What? Your screen is a bit delayed for me.
Okay. So we now have a flake part module called filter options check. I don't know, we might want to rename this, but I just kept the file name.
Does it work?
Nix flake show works. If I do a nix flake check, let's see. Let's confirm that it shows up.
But it's what
Let me just get build out. Next build.
That's strange that the check takes lib. Now that it's a
Yeah.
Unix.
So we can restructure this. Like, if we just move this let down into per. Oh, sorry, we don't even need that. We can just literally do lib because that's a systemless thing, right?
Mhm.
Oh, but wait, does lib mean different things? Is this
It
the lib?
this is the rotate.
Okay. Mob. Are you?
So what happens here is that this all it takes is lib, and then it picks some things from lib here.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
instead, we'll get lib from here.
makes sense. And then we can float those up into like imports, like
We
the
don't
inherit syntax.
this be this be this becomes not a function.
Agreed. Oh, or we can inline lib everywhere, sure. This would be a great opportunity to use dot,
I did use dot.
but it looks like you copied. Like you don't have to copy and paste. You can just repeat the insert action.
I used dot wrong somehow. Not sure how that happened.
Oh, okay.
There's lib debug. I don't even know what that is.
Love it.
Uh, so what this basically what now I'm confused. Checks filter options. Okay. Wait, I
And
know I
then
don't
this
understand.
we
This
can drop the
doesn't
parens and the lib argument.
not call redundant parens. What is
Beautiful.
this now? Persistence. Ah, persistent. We can get lib from here instead. No, we cannot. But we
So what we could
can
do, I think,
put the
is
let in the persistent.
yeah, exactly.
I'll need to do that. Let somehow percent did the right
Did the right
thing.
thing. Way to go.
Nearly.
Is that
Put me
tree
here.
sitter or
What
something?
is that? Yeah.
Who
Now
knows?
it's nearly the right thing. I'm not sure what's going on there.
Mhm.
And then per system function here.
Beautiful.
Now this is not a function.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
I don't have next funds. Next best thing
Cool.
per system. Let's why do we need that? Let's yeah, we probably this should be a binding because of the assert that it will go into.
Seems reasonable to me.
Okay. And then the at the call site, there's no call site anymore, right? Flake.nix filter options check. It's not here. There's none of it here anymore. It's all here. This is the call site basically.
Yep.
Okay. Next flag check. Evaluate everything. Want to see some magic?
Sure. Hit me up. Hit me up with it.
This took 12 seconds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do it again to make sure that it's no cache is involved.
Okay.
Let's even commit, right? Because there's like flake next.
Sure.
Okay, now it's committed. Next flake check. Goes through them.
Yeah.
I
In
love
my
taking
mental
credit
model, the
for.
universe is maybe the next like check will be instant, but that is wrong. Okay.
So it took 11 seconds. Now, next fast build.
Hey, oh, this is the one I was asking you to tell me about.
It provided me with great benefit.
It worked for your job.
Yes.
Can you share numbers?
Oh yeah. About from 2 minutes to 30 seconds.
Amazing. Oh, I am so happy. Me sitting in front of a laptop just trying to consume the NixOS universe is paying off.
But in this case, it's not large enough for it to make it better. It
Yeah.
actually makes it worse.
I wonder if was there a one-time cost? Like if you run it again, is it?
It also produces these.
Oh yeah, all the results. Neat. That is super cool, man. Was that how you guys ran into that Nix bug that you guys reported?
You saw that?
Yeah. I'm on the I'm watching all the notifications on the infra channels that folks were talking about it yesterday. Uh it caused a whole thing. I don't know if you were following. Or I wouldn't say you caused, but you were the canary in a coal mine for what turned into a whole adventure for a few people yesterday.
No way.
It turned like people were trying to repro the issue. They were talking about how your flake was private and they couldn't get their hands on it. Then somebody eventually like just figured it out from code inspection because they're a freaking badass. And then Elko followed up at the end of the day with like, I don't understand C++. It looks like all he did is changed a type annotation. And I guess that impacts the garbage collection and fixes the memory leak issue. It's just like totally insane. This is like a you know, one line change.
Next it.
All right.
Wow. And I was like, my attitude is like, here you go, guys. If you want this, here it is. That's it. That's all
Yeah.
I gotta give.
Yeah. That was pretty cool. Uh, I got a thought. Does that?
Hmm. Sorry. Stop sharing screen.
Oh, and I should start sharing. Sure. No, never mind. That's not possible. Okay. All right. So going back to the flake. One left. Release. Okay. So we have a folder called release with a default.nix. Shall we just move this and call it a flake module?
Yep.
Flake modules, flake, go, get add intent to add. Then this becomes dot slash modules, flake, release dot, nope, just release is the folder. There. Okay, and now this is gonna, so here's the thing I copied from the flake. This is what we wanna define per system apps. So what I'll do up here is I'll say, hey, we're returning an attribute set here. And this is a per system function right here, which takes packages and lib. And it defines a few lets, and then in apps dot, something like that. Does that make sense? No, always with the relative references. Man, that one feels right. Modules flake release. So are we importing it from somewhere else?
.nix? Are we missing .nix?
No, because release is a directory.
So
It's
what's
supposed
inside? Default.nix?
Yeah, but that's wrong. I always forget to save my changes to flake.nix. My bad.
Careful with always.
Okay. That is like the third time I've forgotten to do it during this pairing session.
No, I meant careful with saying always. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
All right. And that should define a couple apps. There they are. Beautiful. Love it, love it, love it. And so
Confirmed
now
everything?
we've gotten rid of a number of Nix.
Care to sort those
Sort what?
imports?
These here.
Sort the imports, yeah.
Done.
Thank you. And they Nix thumbs
I don't need to
on the
do
whole
that,
thing.
but I'll do it for you. Excellent. Oh, it did change some files. I'm a liar. I apologize for my lies. Not sure I understand why anything changed. Actually, I'm not totally convinced anything changed, but whatever. All right. Mob next. So that feels like a unit of work that we could
Yeah, mob
call
done.
All right.
That's exactly what we intended to do.
Great. Yeah, it was a little unclear to me what we were intending to do. I mean, like how far we wanted to go with this, but this feels like a good stopping point. Like not a
The
stopping
least
point, but
distance.
a good checkpoint.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Show. Do we want to squash with this?
Not yet. Just wait. This is after a mob done?
Yep.
Okay, so just git commit and give it some whatever names that we understand. Sure. And mob start again.
Okay.
Whatever we'll
Git
do
push.
next. Mob start. Right.
Mob
Git
start.
push and then mob start.
Okay. What do we want to do next?
We have some NixOS modules. Is there any reason that they would be NixOS modules and not like that a file will be a NixOS module?
Yeah. So
Why
I think that's
don't
an
we
interesting.
inline?
Yeah, and we could do the
Mhm.
same thing with our packages. If we wanted, we could express everything purely as flake part modules. And it's really like, do we think there's some value in structuring it differently? And I'd argue the value of structuring it differently is indentation. Like, basically, we can de-indent stuff in those modules. I also think there's a small argument to be made for like just having a little more structure to our code, like rather than a dumping ground of all the modules, where there's actually like some categories of modules like packages and maybe checks and
That second part can be achieved with flake parts as well.
Okay. How does that work?
You can have a module at the root like we have, and then that will import 4 things instead of
Yeah.
10 things.
Yeah. Exactly.
But they're all, every file, every Nix file is a Flake parts module except for
Yeah. We could do
that
it that way.
library ones.
I would just argue that like we're going to indent a lot of code unnecessarily if we do that. And I think there is value in actually defining a package.nix that looks just like a package.nix that you could upstream into Nix packages.
Well, here's one thing. Rotate.
I don't think there's any rotation for it.
There's only unsharing the screen.
Great.
So,
Now that said, as I like think through this a little further, one of the downsides of the thing I wouldn't say I'm advocating for, but the benefit of making it all NixOS module all the way down is we could get some code locality between like where we define the package outputs and the corresponding checks for those packages. Like that could all be in one file. Whereas if we do what I'm proposing, which is sort of like the structure we have right now, we define these packages, but they can't actually those package.json, those package.nix files, they can't define like flake check outputs themselves. All they do is define a package.
well, again, it could be solved with modular, with like more submodules. Thus grouping things that belong together, but still not in the same file.
Yeah.
I think the significant difference, arguably significant difference, sure, indentation, and that we wouldn't have to inject flake level things such as inputs into the module via the module evaluation. And that's a scope that we share with the user. Whereas code scope is a scope that we don't share with the user.
Okay. I think I lost you. So we had a discussion
Currently, we're
last time.
doing this underscore module args. That is scope that we share with the user. That's contamination. But language scope is a scope that we don't share with the user. So that's the only arguably significant benefit that I see.
So are we doing a mix of two things? Because we use underscore module.args to inject that GitHub schema environment variable around. But then we also do the like hidden module option. Is that right?
Not that. I don't think we use it for the... No. That... Okay, so I'll... Module, underscore module args. So...
Yeah.
Oh, that's the only thing we use it for. It's the only thing we use it for.
Well, there's the other thing we did with the...
Extra args.
It's not...
That's only... It's just cargo extra args.
Are you thinking of special args or something?
Oh, I'm sorry, special arg.
But we don't use that. But the other thing we do is for defining our NixOS modules, right? Don't we? Where is that? Is that
there's NixOS,
NixOS common? Okay, can you go in there just to remind me what's going on there?
But where are the
Yeah, 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 yeah.
where are
So
the
this
other
is the other
modules?
pattern we use. But then where do we
But where
actually
are
pull
the?
in?
Did we
Did we drop
miss?
something?
We dropped them. Next modules. Sure. Where are the modules?
Maybe we lost them.
No, they're here.
Oh, good job.
But where are they?
We've
Sure.
boiled the
This
ocean
one.
and we can't find
Yeah.
it anymore. So if you search for
This
_PR
is
tracker
test.
packages.
It's well, it's here.
Oh, right. It's in. Okay. We didn't. Yeah, we just called it fetcher an API, and it could be natural for these to also define the packages and the checks.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Or, delegate, right? Like import more modules. This is kind of an index if you like. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't
I think put it in the file and see if it feels like too much is where I'd start. And see if we can live with the indentation.
I I still feel that like if there's a NixOS module, it shouldn't live with anything else. It should live as a NixOS module in like the file should be a flake parts module that only exports a NixOS module, nothing else. That's what I would go for.
Yeah, so I guess there's two things. There's like how many files we break it down into is one question. And then it's what exactly those files we break it down into are. And I think what I'm hearing you say is you'd like this API.nix or this fetcher.nix that you've got highlighted. You'd like for that to just sort of be an entry point for defining 2 or 3 things, right? Like the API NixOS module, but it wouldn't actually define it. It would just, recursively import another thing. And then it would also, get the package defined. And would the checks be a third thing in your mind, or would that live?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's all of this is like what do we have here? So if we make an index from the next show, we have the API, we have the fetcher. These are the two programs. We have this which serves both of them because it's built for both of them together. We have this for all of the NixOS modules. So we cannot currently we cannot split this up because this is kind of shared, but sure, it can be shared, I suppose. I'm not, or it could be kind of forcibly split out. And for each of these programs, we have the program itself, rotating, program itself, NixOS module, and checks.
Yeah, but so what I would argue.
Share screen, please.
Ah, shoot. Here we go. So conceptually, API feels to me like it defines, like there's 2 things that I'd call the API, maybe 3. It's like the package, the NixOS module, and maybe the docs, but I don't think we have separate docs for that. So I think it's just, in my mind, API is 2 things. It's a package and an NixOS module. And then each of those things themselves may have checks. Like the NixOS module has NixOS tests. But those don't feel like 2 separate things to me.
No, you're right.
And like the way we've structured our code right now, we had to, I think, separate the NixOS module from the tests, but I don't think they should be.
Well, that's a more sober way to see it.
Sober?
Yes.
Who was drunk? Me or you?
Me.
Oh, okay. So I'd be down to explore that sort of a structure. And then I might make a case that, like, as we're implementing that, I'm not necessarily convinced yet that every piece of that tree should itself be a flake parts module. But I would rather have that conversation when we're looking at the code.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
That's
Great.
the next step then.
We'll do that in this branch.
Hmm?
Do you want to do that in this branch?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Until we're satisfied with our flake parts usage.
Great. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is make packages.nix go away.
Except for if we say, hey, this is already better than flake utils.
I mean, I think we have improved these. I think there is cool stuff we could keep doing here. And it might be fun and satisfying, but I also think we could stop here if we wanted to stop here and get back to playing.
Regardless of stopping.
Oh, I mean, merge this.
Is this right? Is it mergeable to main?
Yeah, I believe that this is an improvement. Like, the structure is maybe not as awesome as it could be, but this is definitely an improvement from what we had before, in my opinion.
Okay, ship it.
Okay, great. Mob done. So, we've got 2 commits here. I don't know that I see value in keeping this PR with 2 commits. What do you think?
No, squash.
Okay. Squish. Okay, so what is this, a chore?
Yeah.
I was about to steal your thunder there. Okay. Do I delete myself? Because I'm the... I don't know how that works. Chore? Flake?
How'd you end up there?
How'd I end up where? Oh, it's from the first commit, I guess. I wasn't the one who did that.
Makes sense.
Should I delete myself from down here?
There's no need.
Okay. Chore flake. Switch from...
Yeah, flake utils to flake parts. Sorry, not sorry.
I feel like this is enough to say, but if we want to say more, tell me.
I could say less.
How would I say less?
Without switch from.
Okay. Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. Love it, love it, love it. Get push-f. Oh, it's not asking me if I want to create a PR. It's got molybdenum. Pull request. Oh, wait, sorry. No, teach me how to use the GitHub CLI. GitPR create? Is that it?
That's all it is.
Okay.
Did you watch the new series, Lord of the Rings: Assault on Tolkien?
That's what fans are calling it.
That's what I just called it.
I noticed that season 2 was coming out, or maybe is fully out. I'm not sure. I have not watched it. I watched season 1, and I was mixed. I enjoyed it, but mostly because the orcs looked like the orcs from Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings, which made me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. So I wasn't impressed, but I enjoyed it because I have such childhood nostalgia for the trilogy, the movie trilogy. I don't know. Did you enjoy season 1?
I enjoyed most of it if I like managed to compartmentalize it from the Lord of the Rings films that I watched.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the same canon. That's it.
Okay. So season 2 was harder for you to enjoy, or just unenjoyable?
Well, the stakes are higher and more gets deeper and the show because that Sauron will not be defeated. That the show is and the rings will be created and will
Mm-hmm.
be dispersed to the leaders of the world. That the show is basically a downhill tumble of the entire world.
Mm-hmm.
I never watched a show where that's the premise.
I mean, didn't you love the Star Wars prequels? That's the same thing. Darth Vader
Sure.
going evil.
No,
I'm making
yeah,
a
I
joke
like.
about loving it because people love to hate them. but um,
Yeah.
I've yeah, I'm not sure if I've watched shows. I'm one of the weirdos who actually really enjoys the Dune prequels, which is an example of something where these are the books. Uh, I
Mm.
actually quite enjoyed those as a kid. I haven't read them as an adult.
Mm-hmm. Um. How about we stop the recording here?
Yeah, I
I
can't
think
see
this
the time.
is
Oh yeah, we're
is
great.
enough.
Yeah, awesome. And then I guess we'll have a weekend to kind of let go of this part of the project, and we can talk next week about if we want to keep, you know, working on the masterpiece that is the structure of our flake, or we can just move to writing some Rust code, sort of whatever we're in the mood for.
Probably the latter. It is flake parts now, so
Mm-hmm.
it's easier to make changes. Was there like a specific thing that we wanted to achieve? And
Yes.
I remember you said it was something about flattened tree,
What
but
got us here was we
mm,
have a branch with poem. You didn't want to like look carefully at the to dos. You just wanted to like say, are there any
mm-hmm,
to dos? Then we went to main and we checked if there were to dos. And we saw
mm-hmm,
flattened tree and we're like, oh, that probably goes
mm-hmm.
away if we do flake parts. So
Okay.
if we were to do the restructuring you and I just sort of specced out, I think that would allow
Mm-hmm.
us to get rid of flattened tree. So maybe we do that.
Yeah. No, but if we still have that motivation, then we didn't
Okay,
finish that.
cool.
That's good.
All right. Well, this has been very fun. I have learned. I feel like when we started this, I sort of
Mm-hmm.
only knew flake parts as like using it in the same way that I used flake utils, but now I feel like I grok it and I'm on board. I'm taking whatever color pill it is in the matrix. Can't remember the colors. All right. Great to see you, Shahar. Uh,
Let me just stop the recording first.
we're still talking.
Yes.
Goodbye, everybody.
Th- Thank you for watching. I hope you find this educational. See you next time.